Hi, I'm Kimberly, and today's practice is all about twisting. We'll build a little internal heat, wringing out the body, and we'll follow that with the energy of forward folds. I'm going to recommend having one strap, 2 blocks, and let's get started lying on your back. And we'll start in constructive rest. Your knees are bent, your feet are anchored to the earth, and the arms can relax alongside the body. Palms can turn down if you're feeling a bit ungrounded, or the palms might roll open. You get to choose. Maybe the knees drop together if that feels better here. And take this time to begin to soften back, to begin the process of releasing, of letting go. And bringing your attention into the natural rising and falling of your breath. Beginning to let go of your morning, perhaps, your thoughts, your stories. Beginning to empty yourself of yourself. Arriving right here. Bringing palms to stack at your heart. And as we plan our intention for our practice, perhaps calling to mind something you are ready to release or ready to let go of, to twist out perhaps, to wring out. And we'll sing a soft Om sound together. First a breath, take a nice inhale. And out the mouth, let it go. Inhale to sing or listen. Unwind your arms and let's gather the knees all the way into the chest. See what it feels like to give them a good hug, a good squeeze. You might widen them a little bit towards your armpit. See if that feels better or the same. And then bring your hands to your kneecaps. Fingers face the toes. Apanasana. Inhale, knees move forward, arms lengthen. As you exhale, bend your elbows, hug your knees in towards your chest. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, knees move forward, arms lengthen. Exhale, bend your elbows, hug your knees in. And one more time, please. Inhale, knees move forward. And exhale, draw them in. Let's keep the right knee hugging in. Place your left foot flat on the earth. Right knee hugging in, left foot flat on the earth. Maybe the backs of the shoulders soften back more, back of the neck lengthens. Coming onto the heel edge of your left foot and slide your left leg to the top of your yoga mat. Slide your left leg to the top of the yoga mat. Heel is back. Knee is unlocked. Thigh bone is back. And breathe. Right thigh drawing in towards ascending colon here. I don't mind if it's a little bit wider, totally fine. Beginning the process of working a bit digestively here, wringing out. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, both knees in. Let's keep the left knee in, plant your right foot flat on the floor. Left knee in, right foot flat on the floor. As that left knee hugs in, dissolve the shoulders back, the neck lengthens back. And then perhaps coming onto the heel edge of your right foot and slide your right leg nice and long to the top of your yoga mat. Heel rooting back. That inner thigh is spiraling back towards your mat, so all 5 toes flex up. Good. Knee is unlocked. Thigh bone melting back towards your sticky mat. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, hug both knees all the way in. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And then planting your feet flat on the earth. We'll stretch the arms out to the sides like the letter T. Right arm in line with your right shoulder, maybe a little bit lower. And your left arm in line with your left shoulder, maybe a little bit lower. And palms will roll open. Let's shift the hips a few inches to the left. Draw the knees in and exhale, knees up and over to the right. Easy twist. So knees nice and stacked here. You might slide support between knee shins and ankles as well. I like to drape my right hand on the top thigh, just an option. Breathe. You might explore the space to the left side of your body with that left arm until you find a spot that feels just right. If that shoulder is hovering, really invite the shoulder to get heavy towards the earth without forcing. That arm is heavy, wrist. Really letting go here. One more full breath, nice inhale. Stay as you exhale, navel towards your spine. One knee at a time, come on up. Set your feet down. Shift your hips a few inches to the right, draw the knees in, and exhale up and over to the left. Easy twist. Knees nice and stacked. You might even take a peek at your knees. That left arm might drape on the thigh. And perhaps exploring the space to the right side of your body with that right arm. Settling into some place that feels just right. Softening that shoulder towards gravity. Arm is heavy, wrist is heavy. Letting go. Take a nice inhale here. Let's stay for your exhale, navel to spine. And one knee at a time, inhale, come on up. Set your feet down, reset, and hug your knees all the way into the chest. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And then starting by repeating, we'll keep the right knee in, place your left foot flat on the earth. Find your strap, please. Find your strap. And you'll strap up that foot around the padding of the toes today, the metatarsals. And press that right foot forward and up into the strap. You might even walk your hands up the strap a little bit. But as your arms reach up, really allow gravity to draw the backs of your shoulders back towards your sticky mat. You might even bend and straighten that leg a few times, beginning to wake up the back of the leg, the hamstrings. Always without overdoing here, right? Good. And then as you reach that right leg up to the sky, maybe a little back, you get to choose. Option to stay here or come onto the heel edge of your left foot and slide your left leg to the top of your yoga mat, please. Slide your left leg to the top of the yoga mat. Can you keep that heel back, that inner thigh spiraling back, thigh bone back, and breathe. Good. I like to imagine the back of my right thigh, that lifted leg, was being drawn towards a wall in front of me, as perhaps a leg draws a little bit towards a wall behind me without overdoing. Breathe. Let's catch hold of both sides of the strap in your left hand, please. Take your right hand thumb into your right hip crease or groin in the front. Press it forward. All 4 fingers wrap around the thigh. Really press that thigh forward. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, draw that right leg a little bit to the left. Keep rolling that right thumb forward. I don't mind if the buttocks lifts a little bit. You can play a bit with that without overdoing. Keep rolling that right outer hip forward. And what would it feel like to bend your left elbow, drawing that leg a bit more diagonally towards your left shoulder? And breathe. The sound is always there for you. One more breath here. You can always exit early. When you're ready, let's inhale that right leg back up to the sky. As you exhale, bend the knee into the chest, give it a good hug. And let's take a full body stretch. Arms and legs nice and long. You might hook your thumbs. Try to pull your thumbs apart without pulling them apart. Flex your feet, stretch, wiggle, yawn. And then unwinding, we'll bend the knees, give the knees a good hug once again. A good squeeze. We'll keep the left knee in, place your right foot flat on the earth. Find your strap, strap up your left foot at the padding of the toes, please. And inhale that left leg up to the sky. I don't mind if the knee is soft here. You might walk your hands up the strap towards the foot, and as the weight of the arms draws that strap down, allow gravity to melt the arm bones down into their sockets. You might stay here, or you might pump the leg a little bit, bending and straightening that leg. Easing into the stretch this morning. Often in the morning, it requires a little bit of a different approach into postures. We're still waking up. Our fascia is still a little bit fuzzy, bound up. So perhaps you keep that left leg to the sky or maybe a little bit back, but keep the action of lengthening that hamstrings or the back of that thigh forward towards a wall in front of you. You might stay or come onto the heel edge of your right foot and slide that right leg nice and long. Good. Heel is back, thigh bone back, and inner spiraling of that right leg. So all 5 toes flex up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Let's catch hold of both sides of the strap in your right hand, please. We'll take our left hand thumb to that left hip crease or groin in the front. Wrap it forward. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, invite that left leg a little bit to the left. Keep rolling that left thumb forward. I don't mind if the buttocks lifts just a tiny little bit. You can play a little bit with that. Maybe bending that right elbow, drawing that leg a little more diagonally. And keep that right leg internally spiraling, so don't lose that action of that supported leg. Good. Breathe. With your next inhale, let's inhale that left leg to the sky, please. We'll exhale the knee into the chest, release the strap. And we'll take another full body stretch. You might hook the thumbs in the opposite direction. Flex or point your feet. You choose. Wiggle, yawn. Good. And then when you're ready, unwind the arms. Bend your knees. Give your knees a good hug. Let's roll to rest on your right side in a fetal shape, using your upper arm as a pillow. And nice and slow, pressing yourself up to child's pose or balasana. Take your time. Take your time. The knees will be wide, big toes touch, and reach your arms forward. Forehead to the earth or block or your hands. Let's take 5 breaths here. Good. If it feels nice, you might rock the forehead a little bit from side to side. So the energy of twisting is very internal. We're really cleansing out, wringing out. The energy of forward fold is very internal as well. So we'll go a bit back and forth today here. From here, with your arms stretching forward, gaze between your hands. And let's inhale forward to a tabletop position. Hands and knees positioned on the mat. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Gaze towards the top edge of your yoga mat. Let's start with some cat-cows here. With your next inhale, draw your heart forward. A little pause at the top. And as you exhale, round the spine, hollow out the low belly, pausing at the bottom. Again, inhale, draw your heart forward, a little pause. And as you exhale, round the spine, pausing at the bottom. Good. Let's inhale to a long spine, please. From here, slide your right leg back, and breathe that right leg parallel to the floor. Hug the inner thighs together, all 5 toes wrap down. Take an inhale, grow longer. As you exhale, round knee to nose, please. On an inhale, reach it back, gaze towards the top edge of your mat. Good. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. And one more time, please. Exhale, round. Inhale, send it straight back. Let's stay here for your exhale. Draw your navel towards your spine. Hug your inner thighs together. And we'll cross that right leg behind the left leg. Set the toes down. And take a peek over your left shoulder at that right heel. You might pivot your left hand to the left. You might even slowly pivot that right hand to the right. And breathe. Allow the upper body to slowly unwind first. And we'll inhale that right leg back. And set that right knee to the earth. Slide your left leg back, please. Slide your left leg back. Good. Breathe your left leg parallel to the floor. Hug your inner thighs together, all 5 toes down. Take an inhale, get longer. As you exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. And last time, exhale. Inhale, send it straight back. As you exhale here, draw your navel softly towards your spine. Hug your inner thighs together. And we'll cross that left leg behind the right leg. Set the toes down. And take a peek over your right shoulder at that heel. Heel pressing back. Good. Maybe that right hand pivots to the right. Maybe your left hand pivots to the left. And breathe. Allow the upper body to slowly unwind first. We'll reach that left leg back and set the knee down. Child's pose, please. Child's pose. Let's give the wrists a nice circle here. In both directions. stretching your arms forward, gaze forward. Inhale forward to a tabletop position. Let's curl the toes under, walk your hands one handprint forward. Shift the shoulders just behind your wrists. And we'll begin to slide your hips up and back to downward facing doggy, please. Downward facing dog. You might keep your knees bent to grow your spine longer. If it feels good, you might walk out your dog, bending one knee at a time. Good. Let's soften the knees and take a very slow walk forward to the top of your yoga mat, please. I will meet you in a forward fold. Softening your knees, you might catch hold of opposite elbows here. You might make a new choice. The spine tractioning towards gravity. Maybe the fronts of the legs begin to lift. Backs of the legs anchor down. Let's unwind the arms. Heel toe your feet about hip bone distance apart. Begin to bend your knees forward with your hands either on the earth, your shins, or your thighs. As you inhale, halfway rise, Ardha Uttanasana. So bend your knees enough that your spine can really lengthen forward. From here, walk your hands up to your hips, elbows to the sky. With a long spine, inhale, come all the way up to stand, please. And exhale, relax your arms all the way down, finding Tadasana at the top of your yoga mat. I'm going to bring my blocks to the top of the mat. You might not need them, but they're there in case you do. So I had a request for sun salutations, and I will oblige that. So coming to the top of your mat in Tadasana mountain pose. Good. Lift up your toes, spread them wide. Anchor down in the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, center of your heels. And as the arches softly lift, spread the toes all the way down to the earth. Legs telescoping up into the bowl of the pelvis. The flesh of the buttocks draping towards your heels. Rise the crown of the head tall. Good. On an inhale, reach your arms up, please. We're going to stay here for your exhale. Root down into the earth. Turn your palms forward, and we're going to take a little bit of an apple picking motion from side to side, just to wake up the side body a little bit more here. Good. Like you're getting a nice morning stretch here. Let's do one more time each side. And then the next time you inhale, reach your arms up. Roll your palms in. Option to press your palms. Take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, bow forward. All the way down you go. Good. On an inhale, lengthen your spine. Now staying low here, bend your knees enough that you can really lengthen your spine long. Step your right leg way back, runner's lunge. Good. Great. Hug your inner thighs together. Tap your outer left hip back. As the heart reaches towards the front of the room, your right heel lengthens towards the back of the room. Good. Plant your hands down without changing the integrity of your right leg. Inhale, plank pose, please. Top of a push-up. Body's in one straight line. Let's breathe here, 3 breaths, just for fun. Option to lower the knees down and flatten the feet. Wherever you are, press the floor away for the strength of your arms. Keep the collarbones buoyant, back of the neck long. And you might even walk the toes in a little bit, reaching the heels back. Good. One more breath here. I'm going to lower my knees down for this first one. Let's take an inhale together. In one piece, lower all the way to your belly, elbows back, all the way down you go. Clip the toenails down. Loop the shoulders up, back and onto your back. Inhale, rise to cobra, please. Let's stay and breathe. So toenails rooting down, the pubic bone anchored. You might even lift your hands off the earth. Back of the neck long. We'll take some cobra pulses. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, lower all the way down. On an inhale, lift your heart. Maybe you lift your hands. Exhale, lower all the way down. And last time, inhale, lift and stay. We'll plant the hands down here, dragging the hands back. You might wiggle a little bit through your side waist, grow a little bit longer, but let it feel good. When you're ready, take an inhale here. And as you exhale, lower forward and all the way down. Plant your hands alongside your chest or your shoulders. Lift the fronts of the shoulders to the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, tabletop, please. Curl your toes under, reach your hips towards your heels. You might stay here or downward facing doggy, please. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Child's pose is always there for you. Good. Beautiful. Now everything we do in dog can also be done from a tabletop position. Let's bring the big toes together here, please. On an inhale, breathe your right leg straight back, just like we did to start in that tabletop. All 5 toes are wrapping down. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, bend the knee into the chest without coming forward, so the hips stay nice and high. As we pause here, lift your right buttocks up and back. Keep the collarbones broad, try not to lose your neck. Inhale, send that right leg back, 3-legged dog. Let's do that once again. Exhale, bend the knee in. Inhale, send it back. Now listen carefully. Exhale, bend the knee in. Come high to the ball of your left foot. Shift the shoulders right over your wrist. Press the floor away, round your back, gaze between your hands, and step the foot through. Oh my goodness, that was exhausting. If it doesn't make it, give it help. You're human. Okay, slide your shoulder blades down your back, please. Plant your left hand to the edge of your mat or to a block. Bring your right hand to your right hip, please. That outer right hip tacking towards the back of the room. Let's take an inhale, lengthen your heart towards the front of the room. And as you exhale, roll your heart to the right, finding another twist here. Keep the collarbones broad. You might even bring your right hand to the back of the head and lean the head back into your hand. Lift the elbow up more and turn your heart to the sky. Maybe reach that arm back up. And take one more inhale here. As you exhale, lower that right hand all the way down. Pause. Nice and slow, we'll inhale, step forward to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana, spine long. And exhale to fold. Let's inhale, halfway rise, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale here, reach your arms out like bird wings to the sides. Good. With a long spine, inhale, come all the way up. Arms might stay, arms might reach to the sky. And let's exhale, hands to your heart. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Nice inhale. And out the mouth, exhale. Let's do that one more time. Nice inhale. Out the mouth, exhale. One resting breath. And we'll take the second side. With your next inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, bow forward, all the way down you go. On an inhale, halfway rise. So staying here, spine long, bend your knees enough that your collarbones can really broaden here. Step your left leg way back, runner's lunge. Good. Hug your inner thighs together. Reach your left heel towards the back of the room and your heart towards the front of the room. Plant your hands down. Inhale, right foot meets the left. Plank pose, top of a push-up. Knees up or knees down. 2 breaths. Press the floor away. Flesh of the buttocks draping towards your heels. Don't let your pelvis sink. Broaden your collarbones. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Take a nice inhale. That was more than 2 breaths, my bad. As you exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog if that is in your wheelhouse today. And as you exhale, forward and down. Let's inhale, tabletop or plank, please. And bend your knees, slide your hips up and back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. To me, the most important thing about dog is that your spine is nice and long. Maybe the knees are a little bit soft. Inviting the spine to lengthen, back of the neck to lengthen. Let's bring the big toes all the way together, please. On an inhale, breathe your left leg straight back, 3-legged dog. Once again, this can be done from a tabletop position. Wrap all 5 toes down, hug your inner thighs together. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bend the knee into the chest without coming forward. Keep lifting your left buttocks up and back. And then we'll inhale, send that leg back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee in. Inhale, send it back. And this time, exhale, bend the knee in, come behind the ball of your right foot, shift your shoulders over your wrist, press the floor away, around the back, gaze forward, and step the foot through. If it doesn't make it, give it help. Draw your sternum bone forward. Plant your right hand to the edge of your mat, please. Left hand to your left hip. And tap that left hip back towards the back of the room. Good. Take an inhale, draw your heart towards the front of the room. And as you exhale, begin to turn your heart to the left. Good. Keep hugging your inner thighs together. Find a little cobra in your upper back. And maybe that top hand comes behind the head. Lean the head back into your hand. Lift the elbow up more. Maybe the heart rolls open. Good. And then that arm might reach. Very, very nice. At the same time, keep hugging that left thigh in towards your midline. Good. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, plant your left hand all the way down. We'll take a little pause here. On an inhale, step forward to the top of your yoga mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale to fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Now the feet might be hip bone distance apart. If it feels okay, you might heel toe your big toes, inseams of the legs all the way together. The heels might be a little bit apart. Good. Just bring your hands to your heart. Good. Make sure you can see your big toes. If you can't, shift the weight a little bit more towards your heels. You might even lift up all 10 of your toes just for fun. Good. Draw your navel softly in and up. Allow your heart to rise. 35 more breaths. I'm just kidding. 1 more breath. Take a nice inhale. Sit a little deeper as you exhale. Root down into the earth. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, lower your arms all the way down. Very, very nice. Let's bring the feet about 3 feet apart, please. About 3 feet apart. Either parallel. If it feels good, you might pigeon toe your feet. Bring your hands to your hips, please. We'll set up for another forward fold. Take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. As you exhale, bow forward. Hands to the earth or blocks, you get to choose. On an inhale, lengthen your spine, nice and long. And as you exhale, fold and melt. 5 breaths. 5 breaths. Good. With your hands right under your shoulders. On an inhale, press the floor away. As you exhale here, bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky. Nice long spine. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms out, neither hop or heel toe your feet all the way together. And you get to watch. So we're going to set up for a bit of a triangle variation. But watch first. If you have blocks and you like to use them for triangle, I'm going to set my blocks out right behind my heels, nice and tall. So watch this for a moment. I'm going to pivot my right toes forward, my left toes slightly forward, heel to arch alignment. I'm going to inhale, reach my arms open, and as I exhale, I'm going to reach forward. Now my right thigh bone is drawing up into its socket as I reach forward, 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 almost like I have a paintbrush in this hand. And I'm going to slide it down either to your thigh, your shin, a block right under your shoulder. And I'm going to inhale, reach up. And we've done this probably thousands of times together. But listen carefully. We'll take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, we're going to roll the ribs down. We're actually going to bring this hand to your bottom ribs, We'll take a nice inhale here. And then we'll exhale, empty all the breath out. When we're empty, we're going to begin to roll our organs to the sky and inhale, reach the arm to the sky. And then I'll give the option to repeat that. So we'll exhale, lower down. We'll bring the hand to the bottom ribs. We'll take a nice inhale, a nice full exhale. And when we're empty, we roll the ribs open and then inhale the arm to the sky. I'll be here for 5 breaths, right? To come out of it, we'll gaze down, soften your front knee. Inhale, come all the way up. We'll take a little break in the center. So let's try it together. So stretch your arms out, measure your stance, ankles under your wrists. If you like your blocks, have your blocks behind your heels, or at least one behind your right heel. Good. We'll bring the hands to the hips. And deep within the hip socket, pivot your right toes forward. And your left toe is slightly forward, heel to arch alignment. Good. Root your feet down. With your next inhale, stretch your arms open. And as you exhale, reach over that front thigh, that right thigh drawing up into the socket. Reach longer, 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 longer. Slide that hand down to the thigh, the shin, the block, the floor. It doesn't matter to me. Inhale your top arm to the sky. Good. Now, as you exhale, roll that top arm down, top ribs down. Bring your hand to your bottom ribs. Those would be your right outermost ribs. Take a full breath here. Nice inhale. Nice full exhale. Empty all the breath out. When you're empty, roll your organs to the sky and inhale that arm to the sky. Good. You might stay here or we'll do that again. Exhale, lower your top arm down. Bring your hand to your bottom ribs. We'll take a full breath here, a nice inhale. Stay for your exhale, all the breath out. When you're empty, begin to roll your organs to the sky and inhale the arm to stay. Beautiful. Maybe the gaze lifts at your top hand thumb. If this bothers your neck in any way, gaze forward, or I like to gaze down and breathe. Good. Take a nice inhale together. As you exhale, it's all gaze down. Soften your front knee, navel towards your spine. On an inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale your hands to your hips. Parallel your feet. You might even heel toe your feet, one heel toe closer. Tuck your elbows back. Take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. As you exhale, bow forward, hands to the earth or blocks. On an inhale, lengthen your spine. Option to walk your hands forward to a wide-legged dog. So arms either in line with your shoulders. I kind of like to play with them a little bit wider here, just an option. Palms can be soft to the earth, or you might even tent your finger pads and draw a little earth energy up the inseams of the arms, all the way to the armpits, all the way up the sideways to the sitting bones. And breathe. Inner thighs rolling back and apart. And let's begin to walk your hands back, wrists right under your shoulders. Option to soften your knees. On an inhale, grow your spine long. As you exhale, bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky. Long spine, inhale, come all the way up to stand. Good. Let's take the second side. If you need to relocate your block, now's a good time to do that. Widen your stance, please. Deep within the hip socket, we'll pivot the left toes forward and the right toes slightly forward, heel to arch alignment. Good. Great. Root your feet into the earth. On an inhale, stretch your arms open. And as you exhale, reach over your front thigh, that left thigh drawing up into its socket, grow nice and long. And then slide that hand down to the thigh, the shin, the block, the floor, doesn't matter to me. Reach that right arm to the sky. Good. And take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, roll that top arm down, outer ribs down. You'll bring that hand to those left outermost ribs here. Left outermost ribs. Take a breath, take a nice inhale. Nice full exhale, empty all the breath out. When you're empty, begin to roll your organs to the sky and inhale that arm to the sky. Good, let's try that again. As you exhale, lower that top arm down. Hand to your bottom ribs, your left outermost ribs. We'll take a breath here, nice inhale. Nice full exhale, empty all the breath out. When you're empty, begin to roll your organs to the sky. Inhale your arm to the sky. Maybe your gaze to the sky. Good, beautiful, breathe. Let's take one more inhale here. As you exhale, slowly gaze down if you're not already. Soften your front knee, navel to spine. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, please. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Parallel your feet. And heel-toe your feet one heel-toe closer, either parallel or pigeon-toed. We'll start by repeating. Tack your elbows back. Let's take an inhale, loop the shoulders up, back and onto your back. Take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. And as you exhale, bow forward, hands to the earth. A few options here. Inhale, you might stay here. You might walk yourself long to that wide-legged dog once again. This time we'll keep the arms a little more shoulders distance. And take time to soften in a bit here. Side body nice and long. I don't mind if the knees are soft here. Otherwise, the fronts of the legs lifting, backs of the legs rooting. And just for an option today, center your left hand, and we'll thread that right arm underneath the left arm to the thigh, the shin, the ankle. As you inhale, grow longer. And as you exhale, begin to bend your right elbow to the right. You might take a peek underneath your left armpit. Keep rolling those inner thighs back and apart so we're not losing the anchor of the low body. But as that low body anchors, can you find a little cobra in your upper back so the upper body grows nice and buoyant here? Breathe. One more breath. As you exhale, very slowly unwind, come back to that dog or that nice long spine. And this time we'll center that right hand and we'll thread that left arm underneath, catching thigh, shin, ankle, yogi's choice. Take an inhale here, grow longer. And as you exhale, bend that left elbow to the left. You might take a peek underneath your right armpit. Inner thighs roll back and apart. Heels rooted. The upper body buoyant, a little cobra in your upper back. Breathe. One more breath. As you exhale, slowly unwind. We align your arms, shoulders distance. Very slowly walk your hands back right under your shoulders. You might soften your knees forward a bit. Take an inhale here, grow your spine long. As you exhale, hands to your hips, elbows to the sky. Nice long spine. Inhale, come all the way up. Oh my goodness. Reach your arms open and either hop or heel toe your feet all the way together. Very, very nice. Let's step to the top of your yoga mat, please, finding Tadasana. Maybe finding your 2 blocks or bringing them with you if you haven't already. So bringing the blocks just outside of the feet, arms can relax down. And come back to the breath. You might close your eyes. If it feels good to rest your hands somewhere on your body, please, please honor that. Let's take a cleansing breath. Nice inhale through your nose. Out the mouth, let it go. One more time, nice inhale. And let it go. Good. One resting breath, relax your arms down. On your next inhale, reach your arms up, look up. As you exhale, hinge forward, hands to the blocks or floor. On an inhale, lengthen your spine. Keep your spine long, bend your knees enough that the spine can really lengthen. And step your left leg way back into that runner's lunge. Good. Pivot your left heel flat, heel to heel alignment. And hop that left foot in 1 foot. Hop that left foot in 1 foot. Good. Keep hugging your inner thighs together. Keep lengthening your spine towards the front of the room. And I want to give the option to begin to straighten your front knee. The quadriceps contract, the kneecap begins to lift up, 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 up towards that hip. So that right buttocks is reaching up and back. Your outer left hip is wrapping forward. And the inner thighs are rolling back and apart. Good. You're going to plant that left hand or left block right under your face. If you want to bring that left hand to the left shin, be my guest. I'm going to bring my hand to the block right under my face. Bring your right hand to your right hip, please. The right hip is squaring back. Let's take an inhale together. As you exhale, begin to roll your organs to the right. And maybe that right arm reaches to the sky. Maybe the gaze lifts up and breathe. You can always roll the gaze down here as well. Sometimes that feels super yummy on the neck. Nice long, smooth breaths here. And take one more inhale together. As you exhale, unwind the arm, square your wrists right under your shoulders. Let's take an inhale here, grow longer. And as you exhale, forward fold, Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. You might lower, get rid of your blocks. Now, if you're sinking into your organs or you can't breathe here, keep your blocks fairly tall. And maybe your spine stays a little more parallel to the floor. A little more parallel to the floor. Just an option. They are technically different postures. Beautiful. Breathe. Just one more breath. With your next inhale, it's all lengthen the spine. As you exhale, soften your front knee forward. Pivot your back heel up, please. Walk your hands or blocks about 12 inches forward. And through a mini standing splits, inhale, step forward to the top of the mat. Set your left foot down. Widen your feet, bend your knees. Catch hold of opposite elbow joints here. And rest, and rest. Good. Beginning to unwind your arms. Heel toe your feet about hip bone distance apart. As you inhale, halfway rise, Ardha Uttanasana. Let's stay low, so you might take your blocks and walk them back so they frame your feet here, just an option. Keep the spine long, slow motion, step your right leg way back, runner's lunge. Good. At the same time, draw your sternum bone forward. Pivot your right heel flat, heel to heel alignment, and hop that right foot in about a foot. Enough that that heel can plant to the earth. Good. Keep your spine nice and long, parallel to the floor. And slowly begin to lift that front kneecap up, 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 up towards the hip, straightening that knee. A little bit, a lot of it, or not a bit. That left buttocks reaching up and back. That right outer hip rolling forward. Inner thighs rolling back and apart. As the spine lengthens here, let's take your right hand or right block under your face, or maybe to that shin if you prefer. And we'll bring our left hand to our left hip. Good. Take an inhale here, grow longer. And as you exhale, begin to roll your bottom ribs towards your top ribs. Broaden your collarbones, a little cobra in your upper back. And maybe that arm reaches to the sky. It doesn't have to. Reach it straight up. Beautiful. Maybe you look up. You're welcome to gaze down. I love gazing down in a twist. Good. Let's take one more inhale here. As you exhale, unwind that top arm. Square your shoulders, square your hips. Take an inhale, grow longer. Option to stay right here. Or as you exhale, bow in Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. And keep the anchor of your back foot. Keep the anchor of your back foot so we're not putting all the weight into our front leg. Good. The front knee might be soft or bent. Good. With your next inhale, let's all lengthen the spine. As you exhale, re-bend your front knee. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. I'm going to flip my blocks up nice and high. Walk your hands or blocks about 12 inches forward. Slow motion, inhale, step forward. Right leg might hover for a moment. And then set your right foot down, widen your feet, bend your knees, catch hold of the opposite elbows here, rest. Good. 3 more breaths. Very nice. I'm exhausted. And then unwind your arms. Walk your hands to the blocks if they're in front of you. So the blocks about a torso's distance forward. Shoulders right over the wrists. And heel toe your feet as wide as your yoga mat is wide. Heel toe your feet as wide as your yoga mat is wide. Good. Begin to pivot the heels in, toes out. Heels in, toes out. And keep the spine nice and long, but very slowly begin to bend your knees in the direction of your feet. Keep rolling your inner thighs back and apart. Imagine you can sit on the wall behind you, but at the same time, lengthen your heart towards a wall in front of you. I want to give the option to stay right here, or take a nice inhale. As you exhale, Malasana, tailbone between your heels, just an option here. These blocks are here if you want to sit on them as well. If the heels are hovering, please slide a blanket or your yoga mat underneath your heels so we're not stressing out the Achilles, please. And as you take a little pause here, arms are pressing into your thighs. Thighs are pressing back into your arms. And find a very soft lift at the floor of your pelvis, like you're going to jump out of the pose. We're not going to jump out of the pose, but imagine you could. I mean, you can, I'm sure, maybe. Good, great. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to the earth. And very slowly sit back. Stretch your legs forward. Shake out the knees. Really, really nice. I'm exhausted. Good. And let's do this. Have your blocks, or at least one block, reachable. Have your blocks reachable. And make your way onto your back once again. Make your way onto your back once again. Your favorite way. Your favorite way. And once you arrive, if it feels good, you might hug your knees in. You might take a full body stretch. Move or stretch or yawn. Ooh. Good. Let's keep the right knee hugging in. Slide your left leg nice and long to the top of your mat. Right knee in, left leg long to the top of your mat. Let's stay and breathe. Shoulders soft. And then reaching your right arm out to the right. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, invite your right knee a little bit or all the way across the body, maybe to that block. Your bottom hip rolls under. And you might explore the space to the left side of your body with that, to the right side of your body with that right arm. Okay, and breathe. Nice long exhales. So hard, I think. So really inviting gravity to hold you here. One more breath. Navel draws to spine as you exhale. And slow and controlled inhale, come on up. And set your feet down. Set your hips, give your knees a good hug, a good squeeze. We'll keep the left knee in, slide your right leg long, please. Left knee in, right leg long. Shoulders dissolving onto your back of the neck lengthening. Let's reach your left arm out to the left, take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, invite that left knee a little bit or all the way across the body, maybe to support. Bottom hip rolls under. You might explore the space to the left side of your body with that left arm. And breathe. One more breath, please. A nice inhale. Nice exhale. And one knee at a time, come on up. Set your feet down, reset, and hug your knees all the way into the chest. Planting your feet flat on the earth, we're going to set up for a few moving bridge poses. So the feet about hip bone distance, about 5 to 6 inches apart. And let's start by catching the edges of your yoga mat with your hands. Roll the palms in towards the body. And tuck the corners of the shoulders under like you're tucking in the corners of a sheet. Let's take a breath. As you inhale, lift your hips up a little bit or a lot of it. And as you exhale, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down you go. We'll reverse that wave. Inhale, peel yourself up, low back, mid back, upper back. And exhale, roll it down. Good. This time, inhale, peel yourself up. Let's stay at the top. As you exhale here, draw your navel in and up. Option to lift your heels off the earth. Take a nice inhale. Keep the heels lifted. Exhale, roll down the length of your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Good. Allow your heels to touch down. Widen your feet. Drop your knees together. You might rest one hand on low belly, one hand at your heart. If you'd like to windshield wiper your knees, you do. It's fine. Good. We'll take one more posture together here. So we're going to set up for a supported bridge. So have your block reachable. If you're new to supported bridge, please watch first. Reset your feet about 5 to 6 inches apart. Make sure the back of the neck is nice and long, the head is nice and neutral. And when you're ready, press your feet down, lift your hips up. And we'll snuggle that block either flat, I like it flat or medium, underneath your sacrum, that triangular plate, the base of your spine. If you don't have a block, a pillow works or a bolster works. If you prefer to come back to moving bridge, that also works. And as you soften onto the block, make sure it feels comfortable. Make sure it's not on your low back, really on the sacrum. The tip of the tailbone draping just off the edge. And I want to give the option to stay right here, or one knee at a time. Lift your knees right over your hips. Inseams of the legs might come all the way together. Flex or float your feet and reach your legs straight up to the sky for Viparita Karani, 10 breaths. If this feels too much, bend the knees, set them back down. It's fine. Sending blood flow to your vital organs here. You might stay a bit longer and begin to bend your knees. 1 foot at a time, touch down. Pause. Lift the hips, move your support, and roll yourself all the way down. Hug the knees in. We'll bring them wide towards your armpits. You might wrap your arms around the lower legs, or coming into your expression of happy baby pose. Happy baby pose. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And you might stay here. You might bring the soles of the feet together into a Baddha Konasana. If there's any final movement your body is craving on the way to Shavasana, honor that. Honor that. No right or wrong. You might even come into a Supta Baddha Konasana here for Shavasana. Just an option. Maybe you support the knees with the thighs. Good. And taking your time to be well settled. And as we arrive back, if you have any leftover tension, tightness, anything at all. When you're ready, take a nice inhale, draw it up. And open the mouth, let it go. You might do that 1 or 2 more times. And I'm going to read a quote by Daphne Rose Kingma. She says, "Holding on is believing that there's only a past. Letting go is knowing that there's a future. Holding on is believing that there's only a past. Letting go is knowing that there's a future." Bringing your attention back to the breath. Just watching as it rises and falls. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circling your wrists and your ankles. And stretching and yawning. Yawning. My favorite way to release the jaw. mind back. Or when you're ready, bending your knees. And rolling to rest on a side of your choosing. 2 or 3 breaths. And pressing yourself all the way up to a comfortable, tall seat. Hands coming together at your heart. And reconnecting to that intention, or what are you ready to release? Let's seal in our practice together with the sound of one Om. First to breath, take a nice inhale. And out the mouth, let it go. Inhale. And together we say, Namaste.